guys, I'm Mandy, and these are some of my great little dancers from Artistic Motion Dance. Today we're going to walk you through a stretch tutorial that will help you get your splits in 60 days. First, we're going to start with a little bit of cardio warm-up. I think jumping jacks are the best for this. So I'd like for them to do it for about 30 seconds to a minute. Ready, set, go. Starting with some cardio, just make sure that your muscles are nice and warm. You never want to jump into stretching without getting them warm first. A jog, a brisk walk, anything like that will do. But jumping jacks is the easiest for a full body warm-up. Good, guys, keep going. About 15 more seconds. Good, are you feeling nice and warm? Yeah, all right, go ahead and stop. Put those feet wide apart. Back row if you'll face the side for me. This way you'll get a good view of exactly what you're going to do. Go ahead and take the head and roll all the way down to the ground, resting your hands on the outside of your legs. Good, grab onto those feet. Good, and take a plie, slight bend in your knees, and stretch. Good, and plie. And as you stretch, we're gonna pull our tailbone straight up to the ceiling and our head down to the floor. Good, and plie. And stretch. Trying to fold your body all the way in half. Good, plie. And stretch. 2 more times. And plie. Really lengthen that head down to the ceiling. And stretch down to the floor. Tailbone up to the ceiling. I'm gonna have to cut that part out. And plie. And stretch. Last one, plie, and lengthen your spine as long as you can, stretch. Good, move those hands down into the center of your feet. Slowly walk your feet together. Heels, toes, all the way till your feet are touching. Good, relax your neck so it goes all the way down. You're trying to get your nose to touch your knees or down to your shins if you're that flexible. Good, and plie both legs, keeping your heels on the ground. And stretch. Good, and plie. And stretch. Drop that neck. And plie. And stretch, really lengthen behind the knees as much as you can. Good, plie. Hold those nose to your knees. Keep that head down. And stretch. 2 more, plie. Good, and stretch. Very nice. Walk our hands out. We're gonna go into a downward dog position. Pulling those tailbones up to the ceiling, pushing your shoulders flat, and trying to get your heels down on the ground. Good, hold that for a minute. Pull that tailbone. There you go. Nope, don't move your hands. Just pull your tailbone up. Good. Head should be looking back towards your feet. Good. And softly bend your right knee, pressing your left heel down into the ground. Good. And switch. And switch. Good. Really push through that tailbone. And switch. Good, couple more times, and switch. And switch. Good. 2 more, left heel down. And switch, right heel down. Good, press both heels down into the ground. Take a soft plie in the knees, pushing your belly button, trying to fold it together. Now as you straighten your legs, tailbone goes up to the ceiling, and you try to keep the space as small as possible between your belly button and your legs. And plie, same thing, belly button towards your legs, drop your head, and stretch. Good, 2 more, and plie, and stretch. Last one, plie, and stretch. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Good, drop that head, relax that neck, and plie, and stretch, and plie. You should hopefully be closer to your legs this time, and stretch, pulling that nose, plie, and stretch, and plie, and stretch. Now slowly roll up. Good. Take that left leg backwards into a right deep lunge. Good. Making sure our back leg is as straight as possible and your knee is in line right over your heel. Go ahead and rock forward a few times. Rock your weight into your front leg and back. And front and back. Pulling the hips down as you rock. Front and back and front and back. 2 more. Front and back. Last one. Front and back. Dropping that back knee down onto the ground. Point your toe and lift your hands up to your knee. We're just going to hold this for a second. We're trying to stay as lifted as possible. Shoulders down. And we're pushing that hip into the ground. Good, lift up taller. Making sure that this knee is right over the top of the heel. Lift up. Your belly button should not be touching your leg. Eventually what we're working towards is trying to get our entire left leg straight on the ground. Your hips will be sitting and then your right knee will be up. Good, take a breath. Good, and hands back down. From here, we're gonna press straight legs on both sides, leaving your legs as wide as you can. Go ahead and stretch up. Good, 1 hand should be on each side of your right foot. Taking our hips and squaring them off with our shoulders, all of your toes should be pointing the same direction. Your back heel may not be on the floor, and that's okay. Go ahead and flex that front foot up. Pulling those toes back, trying to touch your head with your toes. Now we're going to bend just our back leg. So we're going to bend our back leg, trying to get our knees to touch and stretch that leg. Good, and bend. And stretch, really flexing those toes back still. And plie. And stretch. Last one, plie. And stretch. Good, lower those front toes. We're gonna shift our weight. We're gonna go up and over that front leg and point our back toe on the floor. Hands on the floor flat, trying to put most of your weight into your hands. So you're all the way forward. There should be no weight in your back leg. Nose is curling down and touching your knee. If you can, take it to your shin. Make sure you're really lengthening behind that knee. Good, plie your front leg. And stretch. Each time trying to pull that nose closer. And plie. And stretch. 2 more. Plie. And stretch. Last one, that head should be down. And plie. And stretch. Hold that that left leg back in together. Take a soft bend in your knees and stretch. 2 more, plie and stretch. Last one, plie and stretch and roll up. Good. So now we have to do the other side. Taking our right leg backwards this time, we'll go into a left lunge. Good. Same thing as the other side, making sure our back knee is straight and that our knee is right over our heel. Good, and rock forward, and back, and forward, and back. Rock forward, and back, rock forward, and back. Pulling those hips down, forward, and back, and forward, and back. Good, drop that right knee down onto the ground. Lift up, hands there. Good. Chest is lifted. No belly button on your leg. Stretching that back leg as straight as it can be. Hoping that one day that hip will touch the ground. Take a deep breath. Try to let that hip relax just a little bit lower. And hands on the ground. Stretch up into 2 straight legs. Good. All of our toes should be pointing the same direction. Hips are in line with our shoulders. Body is laying directly over our leg. Good. Reach those hands out. So they're one on each side. Dropping that right hip down. Good, and flex your front toes up. Good, bending through that back leg, plie. And stretch. And plie, and stretch, plie, and stretch, and plie, and stretch, trying to pull our knees together. Last one, plie, and stretch. Good, lower that front toes. Shift your weight into the front leg. Pull your back toe in to a tendu on the floor. Good, all of your weight is in your hands. Nose is trying to touch your knee. And plie. And stretch. And plie. And stretch, and plie, and stretch. Last one, plie, and stretch. Tuck that nose in and pull your right foot back into your left. Good, and plie, and stretch, and plie. Good. Last one, plie. Grab your ankles, pull yourself as close as you can, nose to your knees. Stretch that tailbone up to the ceiling. Now slowly roll up, tucking your chin in and rolling through every vertebrae in your spine. Good. Go ahead and shake it out after being upside down for so long. Now we get to sit down. Sit down into a butterfly position. You're going to take the bottoms of your feet and push them together. Take your hands, push your knees down. Sitting up tall, trying to get our knees to go all the way to the ground. Good, and take our arms up. We're gonna lengthen out. It's as if someone was back here pulling you forward. Reach as far as you can go. Leaving your hands on the floor in front of you. Taking deep breaths. As you inhale, tighten up just a little bit, and then as you exhale, release and let those muscles relax so you can go farther down into the floor. Eventually, you want your nose to touch the floor and your chest to be resting on your feet. Good, deep breath in. And exhale, walk those hands out farther. And deep breath in. And exhale. And deep breath. And exhale. If you want a little bit of an extra stretch, you can have someone just lightly push your back down. They'll help you go a little bit farther than you can go on your own. A deep breath in. And walk those fingers out. All right, one last time. Deep breath in. We're going to go out as far as you can and hold it for 10 seconds. Go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll up slowly. Good. Take your right leg and put it on top of your left leg. You're going to try and align your heels up with your knees. Good. Same thing as before. Arms will go up. Your top knee may not drop all the way down to your foot, and that's all right. The more you do this, the lower it will get. Go all the way down. Try to relax those hips. Good, deep breath in. And send it out. Walk those hands out farther. And deep breath in. And walk it out. One more nice deep inhale. And exhale, go as far as you can. Good, and slowly come up. All right, switch legs. So now your left leg will be on top. Good. Relax that leg so that knee drops as low as it can. Arms up. Lengthen through your spine. Try to keep that spine as long as you can as you go forward. Good, deep breath in and go forward. And deep breath. And walk those arms forward. Good. Deep breath. And exhale, walk them out. And last one. Inhale. And exhale, walk it out as far as you can. And slowly come up. Good, go ahead and take those legs out, shake them out a little bit. Put them straight out in front of you, glued together. Good, nice pointed toes. Lengthening out over the tops of the ankles. Take your arms up. Same thing as before. Pretend someone is pulling those arms out. And take your hands to the outsides of your feet. If they can go back, if they can go past your feet, you can reach them out onto the floor just like Daphne is. Making sure you're relaxing through your neck. You may feel this stretch through your spine. That's okay, those muscles are all connected. And if you have tight muscles down your spine, it's gonna actually prevent your hamstrings from stretching as well. So you wanna make sure you get those stretched out. Dropping that head and lengthening through the backs of your knees. Trying to get the backs of your knees to touch the floor. Good, inhale. And exhale, walk those arms out. Trying to get it so that our belly button, our chest, and our face are all laying right on our legs. Make sure you're keeping those knees straight. And deep breath in. And let it out, walk farther. Keeping those feet together, your hands should be on the outside of your feet. Good, last one, deep breath in. And walk it out. Good, lift just your head up. Take your hands to your feet, and we're gonna pull our toes back into a flexed position. This will give you more of a stretch through the backs of your knees and through your calves. You wanna make sure you're really flexing so it's as if they were on the floor. So you wanna pull it back as much as you possibly can. Good, hold all of your toes. Good, and deep breath in. And pull those toes back harder as you exhale. Good. And deep breath. And pull them back. Drop that head down. And deep breath. And last time, pull them as far back as they'll go. Good, take your hands and push them down to pointed. And slowly roll up. Good, open your legs out to a straddle position. Good, arms up, straight. You want to be parallel to the ground. Reach over, leaving your left hip on the floor. Take that arm up and over your head. Trying to lengthen out through the side. Go ahead and come up, over to the other side. Good, and up. This time, turn, take both of your hands to your right foot or ankle and pull your nose down to your knee. Nose to your knee. Good, and come back to center. And reach to the other side. Turning those shoulders so they're facing your leg, so you're really getting a stretch on those hamstrings. Good, and come up. Flex your feet. Toes are going to stay up to the ceiling as well as your knees. Walk your hands out forward. Good, same thing as before. Inhale, exhale, and try to get those hands out more. Good, two more. Inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale. Good, walk yourself back up. Bring those legs together. Go ahead and stand up. For this next stretch, you're gonna need a towel. Any towel will work. Go ahead and grab one, and you're gonna need a spot on the wall. Good, this stretch we're stretching our quads and our hip flexors. You're gonna take your towel and put it against a wall. From there, you're gonna go ahead and put your left knee down onto it against the wall. Take your right leg up to a 90-degree angle in front of you. From there, using your hands on your knee, you're gonna lift up. You're trying to push your hips and everything all the way back to the wall. So hips to the wall. Good. Bring that foot in a little bit closer so you can balance. There you go. Hips to the wall, back to the wall, shoulders to the wall. Eventually, you want to be a flat line against the wall. You should feel the stretch through the front of your leg. You may need to move your foot over just like Devin, where it's just on the side of his hip so that you can get all the way flat against the wall. Good, take deep breaths, each time trying to pull that pelvis into a neutral position and pushing your lower back flat against the wall. Good. One hand on each side of your leg. Try and straighten your front leg out. Now you might be a little bit higher to start, or you might be able to slide down. But you want to hold it as long as you can, and you want your back foot to stay up. Slide out just a little bit. So her toe is going to stay up to the ceiling. Good. Take that nose down to your knee. Good, sit up. Slide your leg out a little bit farther. And if you can't go farther, just hold it right where you go. Good. And eventually we're gonna slide all the way down into the ground. But we wanna make sure we're keeping that back foot up. That's keeping our hips square so that eventually, not only will you have a flat split, but you'll have a nice square one as well. Good. No matter what height your hips are at, go ahead and take your nose to your knee. If your hips are pretty high, go ahead and stay on your hands. If you're lower, you can drop down to those elbows. Good. And leaving your hips where they are, sit up, arch back, trying to see that foot that's on the wall. Good. Very nice. And come up. Go ahead and come out of it. Shake those legs out. Let's do the other side. Good. Pressing that knee back against the wall. Move the heel out slightly to the outside of that right hip. Make sure your knee isn't far enough. Pull it back a little bit. There you go. Take those hips back to the wall. Pull on the outside. That's it. Trying to get flat against the wall. Good, deep breath in. Pull that belly button back through your spine and into the wall. Even more, Dylan. Pull that back. Good, and take your hands down. Take it out about halfway. Good, and nose to your knee. Good, keeping that front leg as straight as you possibly can. And sit up. If this is a good stretch for you, go ahead and stay right here. If not, slide down as far as you can go, keeping that back foot up to the ceiling. Good, you may have to reach back there and pull that foot up. Trying to pull our hips square opposite the wall. Good. And go ahead and go forward, nose to your knee. Either on your elbows or still up on your hands. Only going as far as you can manage. Good, make sure that foot stays up. Good, and sit up. Arch back, try to see that back foot. Good, you should really feel this through your hip flexor. It's right here in the front of your hip. All right, sit up and come out of that, shake it out. Let's go back out into the middle. Right there. Good, let's get right on our knees. Go ahead and face the mirror. Yep. Take your right leg out. Trying to keep your front leg straight. If this is as far as you can go right now, this is a perfect split to start. If you can, take your hands down to the floor, one on each side, and slowly walk your toes forward. You want to go as far as you can, keeping your front leg straight. Your back knee needs to stay on the ground, and then eventually you'll sit flat and your legs will be in one straight line. Sitting up tall, keeping one hand on each side of your leg. Good, and take your nose down to your knee. If you're holding yourself up and you're not quite in a flat split yet, if you can go down to your elbows to get a good stretch, that's great. If not, keep holding yourself up on your hands. Good, and sit up. Arch back. Again, trying to see that back foot. Good, and return to center and come out of that split. Let's go back up on our knees. Good, take that left leg out to the front. One hand on each side. Walk it down as far as you can. Good, sitting up as tall as possible, trying to get our shoulders so they're even. One's not pulling backwards. Good, and nose to your knee. Good, try to drop down to those elbows if you can. And sit up, arch back, see that back foot, or even try just to see the ceiling for now. Good, and come up. And you're done. If you do this every day for the next 60 days, you should make a huge improvement and most likely even get both of your splits all the way flat to the ground.